G'day guys, Smith City here for Smith City Product Reviews. Well, I've got this little aromatherapy cedarwood gum leaf essentials pure essential oil, and it's sort of like the last little bit of a sensory pack I've been putting together through some experiences over the last few weeks. I've learnt pretty quickly, which I've always sort of known I've probably had, is a form of ADHD. And because of past trauma, different situations, stuff to do with childhood, relationships, friendships, etc., is that it's really sort of brought out some dysregulation in certain moments where I get really overwhelmed, and then I hyperfixate on a particular thought process or pattern, and I have to find out whether that thought pattern is true or correct, and it puts a lot of pressure on connections and friendships and potential relationships. And so I know mostly I'm part of the problem. And so yeah, I've put a little bit of a pack together for me of different sensory items of like touch, smell, different things, building things, colouring book, just different bits and pieces I've put together. And obviously I do breath work anyway, and I'll also do that with some of my clients here with my disability job. And I saw this in a little nickety-knack shop with a new connection I formed with someone, and she's just a legend. And we went into this little hippie shop, and I saw a couple of these little aromatherapy things, and whilst they're supposed to go in a diffuser, I don't feel that would help me sensory wise if I'm in like a heightened state or a high state of arousal through stress, because I feel there's too many tasks: getting out the diffuser, filling up water, task. And with someone who potentially has ADHD, tasks, no, just no. So I'm just going to show you what I do with one of my clients, which is obviously what I've been told to do by his aromatherapy therapist. We normally go to different places and just practice it, but then also in moments of, heightened states, we get him to do breath work. So this is, gum leaf essentials, pure essential oil, cedarwood. And whilst this is helping me, it doesn't really repair some of the damage I've done in the past over the last 4 years. And I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of research. I've really tried to look at myself and look at my stuff and understand where I've gone wrong, not necessarily where someone else has gone wrong. I don't think I'm going to be able to peel that little part off. So anyway, but this is what I normally do. That's all we pretty much need. So obviously I'm getting some sort of sensory through touch of doing this, and also the feeling of the liquid on the hands. And then, that smells fantastic. And then just bringing it to the nose. When you're breathing, you want to breathe through your diaphragm, not shallow through your chest. And not that I was heightened whilst doing this, but like I already feel partially relaxed, and I don't know if that's a really long, it's a really long white hair. I thought it was like the tea that I had before just sitting on my mustache, but it's a really... Can I get it? Gotcha. Oh no, I pulled out a really long black one. I'm gonna pull out my whole mustache doing this. No, I can't get it. That's gonna annoy me now. Look how long that one is, though. I got it at the follicle as well. Lost it now. Can't see it. This is a random tangent. Going from talking about possibly ADHD. I've even, when I've seen certain content around that of like people getting overwhelmed with like 10 different tasks and being distracted and pushing, like doing one thing and then getting distracted and then doing another thing and then completely forgetting about that. I've always looked at that and gone, oh no, I don't do that. I don't do that. That's not me. That's not me. Or I don't have that massive like overthinking stuff in that experience. But maybe not so much the overthinking of it, but it does happen. So I was trying to vacuum my car the other day, and I found a calendar that a mate got me to take back if I was going to go back to WA, to just have a calendar there to mark things in and whatever. And as I was vacuuming, I found a calendar and I got sidetracked. I literally just grabbed it. Instead of putting it to the side, like on the seat, I grabbed it and I started marching back inside with it, like I was going to find a little hook and belt that into the wall and hook it up or whatever. And I caught myself doing it. I'm like, what am I doing? No, you're focusing on this task. And obviously I placed it down on the desk and I continued vacuuming. But then that made me reflect on other times I've done that. And yeah, I do that quite a bit. I may not have like the big, like massive extreme voices that happen within that a lot of people share within their experience of having ADHD. But in terms of like the distraction of tasks, that's me. Sometimes I experience like a freeze. I think that's also to do with overwhelm from working in this particular field as well. You sort of wake up and you're almost paralyzed, like you can't actually physically get up, and because you've got 4 or 5 tasks with no reward system, because ADHD, like a lot of stuff of tasks, is all to do with reward system. And if there's no reward system there's nothing. So like even something as simple as having a shower, like that was a task to me. And I had to break it down into smaller tasks of like uncrossing my feet, which was hard to do, and then sitting up, and then once I was up, rolling out of bed, and then once I was up, then start completing the tasks. But like that took 2.5 hours to get up out of bed. So yeah, they're just different things I'm definitely starting to pick up on. I reached out to a lot of people on social media about it that have been diagnosed or that feel they're undiagnosed like me, and if I should try to get it clinically diagnosed or not, whether I should go down that path or not. a lot of people say that the waiting list can be quite long, and then getting medication can be quite long, but also may not necessarily completely work or help you. And so, yeah, once I started to like join the dots of going, yeah, this is probably me, like ADHD and RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which obviously comes from a whole host of abandonment issues throughout my whole life, not just my childhood. This is another ADHD thing. I was just talking, had future things to talk about. Someone has put a wall up, and now I've lost everything, and I don't even know what I've said prior to this happening. So, yeah, I don't know what I was going to say. It's gone now, and it's probably never coming back. Probably never coming back. So, note: base, source, wood, extraction, steam, distilled, blends with cypress, velva, and frankincense. Properties: relaxing, strengthening, fortifying, and calming. Might help reduce fear. That's interesting. And stress. 3 drops in a vaporizer. Avoid using during pregnancy. Obviously, I'm not pregnant and never will be. Sometimes I feel like it when I've had too much cheese. It's bottled in Australia, in Lilydale, Victoria. Lilydale. That's my neck of the woods. My old neck of the woods when I lived in Melbourne. Don't swallow. Do not use near eyes. Discontinue use if sensitivity occurs. Do not use undiluted on skin. Well, I just did that. Yeah, I just did that, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to die. And so I think it's coming back to me now. So was I talking about medication being hard to get on? And yeah, so instead of going down the path of getting clinically diagnosed, I thought it might be worth just trying to find certain things that I could potentially do. So then when I get put in scenarios of going, I might get dysregulated in this connection, or I might get dysregulated in this moment, or if this doesn't go the way I think it's going to go on this particular day, is I have this little pack together, and because I've got 5 or 6 different options, if I had one, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to put this on my skin for whatever reason, but I might want to do some colouring in, or I might want to build something, or I might, do this, or I might do that, etc., etc., etc. So putting some things together. So when I am dysregulated, the RSD doesn't come out. So I feel like a lot of my ADHD doesn't bother anybody, doesn't hurt anybody. It might be frustrating and annoying. It doesn't necessarily exhaust me. I've learnt to sort of have compassion around some of my quirkiness, to do with going off on tangents and forgetting things and whatever. I've found ways to sort of be okay with that, and that doesn't hurt anybody. It might be, some people might not like it, but that's just the way it is. But in terms of like being dysregulated and then not able to bring myself down out of that, to then have something where I can go, okay, if this is going to be a situation where this could occur, I'm going to bring my pack with me. And then if A, B, C, or D don't occur, I can do E, F, G, H. And that's going to bring myself back down. And it's not because I'm aggressive or violent or any of that sort of stuff. It's just from being a people pleaser my whole life, having people walk all over me my whole life, me not standing up for myself and me not having boundaries, there's been like an internal shift in me, and I've gone too far one way. It's like when I had a sort of an internal shift of going, I'm never going to be treated like this ever again. I'm never going to allow myself to behave in this manner again. It's like as soon as I see a little deviation of what makes sense to me, it's like it sets something off. And I saw it a few weeks, more than a few weeks now. It's probably 6 weeks ago now. And I just hyper fixated on trying to seek out an answer, and all that did was create pressure on someone. And the situation with that someone, and now that someone's out of my life. So, and it's not to have, for me to get empathy or sympathy or to be like, poor you, or to victimize me, or to, you know, to do any of that. It's about me putting up my hand and going, look, I stuffed up. And I need to work out ways to manage that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that connection or friendship comes back. It just means that I want to, and I have to do this for myself and also for future connections, whether that be friends, workplaces, relationships, intimate relationships, that sort of stuff. Because what I've realized is no matter what connection you have, and no matter how solid it is, and the foundations of that being absolutely pure and beautiful, is that it doesn't matter that you can have one little disagreement or moment, and because of their previous situations and your previous situations, which may create you to act or behave in a certain way, is that might sever that completely, and you may never get that chance back. You may never get that person back. And you may never ever get a chance to say that you're sorry to them either. And not so you can get validation back from that sorry, just so they know that you are. So, yeah, anyway. New connection I got today, just to say thank you for the weekend that I created. She bought me this clear quartz, and I absolutely love it. So, might chuck that on. Might chuck that on a pillowcase, or even on my sleeve or something. Might be better to, like, it's not irritating my skin, so that's good. If it was irritating my skin, because it says not to put it on there, just probably putting it on maybe the inside. I don't know if it would stain the jumper or the fabric. Putting it on the inside just in case it does discolor it in any way. And then that way when you go to sleep, you can breathe that in and sort of relax. But yeah. So yeah, the person that I'm speaking about here, if you're watching this, I'm deeply, truly sorry. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I better go to bed. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, and it's going to be a long, long week, and it's been one hell of a few months with this new role, and all sorts of stuff's happening. So, but I'm good at it, and I know what I'm doing, and I like it, and I'm getting good pay. So, not that you do it for pay. I did this for 80% less 10, 15 years ago as a youth worker. So it's actually nice to actually get paid for what I'm worth. But on the flip side, providing some really beautiful care and support to people in this field as a support worker. So anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Head to bed. And got a big day ahead of me tomorrow. So catch ya.